Good afternoon, I'm Keaton Hall. Just 8 days after devastating flooding, the mountains are under a flood watch yet again. Our severe weather alert day coverage continues this evening with meteorologist Evan Hatter. Evan.
Well, Keaton, I do have some good news and some bad news at this juncture. The good news, not everybody is seeing heavy rain. The bad news, some areas have already seen nearly 2 inches of rain today. And more heavy rain continues to fall as you head further to the east. Outside right now, Buffalo Mountain is mostly dry here in southern Perry County, but you see some of the dark clouds there in the distance. That's more showers that are currently working through portions of Leslie County. Those will be working into portions of Perry County. Those showers extend down into Harlan County as well. Out front of WYMT here in Hazard, we're drying out just a little bit, but like I said, a few more showers on the way. Flood watch runs from, well, noon today through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for just about every county in the viewing area, and even the 4 counties in the one city not under it still should keep an eye. In fact, that's where some of the heaviest weather is right now. Into portions of southwest Virginia, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Lee County in Virginia and Wise County in Virginia. In the city of Norton, this warning runs until 6:15 for Lee and Wise counties and the city of Norton. 60-mile-per-hour winds, very heavy rain, and hail to the size of nickels possible as this area of heavy rain continues to work through the region. That heavy rain is sneaking up toward places like Cumberland in eastern parts of Harlan County. Otherwise, just a few showers. There's the track on that as it continues to work on out of the viewing area, though it will be moving into places like Norton here over the next little bit, and the city of Wise as well. A few more heavy downpours sneaking into Mingo County, out of Pike County, and a few more into Dickinson County as well. So we'll continue to watch these scoot off to the east, but we're watching more development across West Kentucky. That could lead to more heavy rain. Level 2 slight risk for excessive rainfall through tonight. Latest on when we could dry out, that's coming up in a few minutes. Keaton?
Thanks, Evan. Small Business Administration representatives have been in our region since Sunday. WYMT's Dakota Makris had the chance to ride along with the SBA's Associate Administrator as he heard from people rebuilding after floodwaters swept through.
This is an all too familiar sight for businesses and homeowners as they rebuild after historic flooding. And the Associate Administrator of the Small Business Administration, Francisco Sanchez, got a first-hand look at the devastation left behind in Perry and Knott counties.
I see a lot of resilience and a lot of pride in this community, so I'm optimistic about that. What I did see some challenges, and we're going to talk about how we overcome those. Because
Eastern Kentuckians are spread out, the SBA is making sure its disaster and business recovery centers are accessible. A roundtable discussion was had Friday afternoon to address similar concerns from those impacted.
And that's critical so we can get the information from the ground is what is needed here, what do we have to bring to the table, and how do we adapt that in a way that can help the community recover.
The SBA provides below market interest rates to home and business owners during a disaster. Those loans can be paid back over 30 years. Homeowners can request up to $200,000. Businesses can request up to $2 million for physical damage and another $2 million for economic recovery.
This is a flooding event, and so we recognize that there are some challenges to paperwork or having access to records. That said, please come in anyway.
In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Once you're approved for a loan, you can expect that money just in a couple days after. President Joe Biden is still testing positive for COVID-19 from his rebound case that began last Saturday. His doctor says he'll continue strict isolation until he tests negative for COVID-19. The next public event on Biden's schedule is on Monday. He and the First Lady are supposed to travel to eastern Kentucky to check out the severe flood and damage recoveries here. Their plan is to meet with Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and his wife and visit families affected by the devastation. Biden is fully vaccinated and received 2 booster shots. The Floyd County Community Shelter is still housing displaced families and distributing items and services to folks in need. The Floyd County Community Center, along with feeding folks and handing out supplies, is hosting organizations such as FEMA, the American Red Cross, and the Floyd County Health Department for related needs following the floods. This includes help registering with FEMA as well as hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and tetanus shots. Floyd County Fiscal Court Special Events and ARPA Grants Director Missy Allen says there are still families staying in the center and many more are there daily to receive cleaning supplies and water as they work to clean up.
It's varied anywhere from 28 to 35 that are staying here right now, using it as a shelter, As far as folks coming daily to get supplies and other items, it is a kind of a steady stream. I'm sure we have between 50 and 100 people a day.
Allen added that folks should be aware that these supplies are for people whose homes or other properties have been flooded and should only be taken by those with urgent need. Allen also said there were many others staying at Jenny Wiley's Park's May Lodge, many of whom have not yet been out to assess the damage to their homes. Matt Jones and his Kentucky Sports Radio team made a special trip down to Emelina Elementary School's Food Distribution Center in order to volunteer for the day to aid in the flood relief efforts. Not only did KSR help the staff for the day, but also did their sports show live just up the road at the Bank of Heinemann. People from all over answered the call from KSR and helped out. Jones talked about what it meant to get involved.
Well, you know, since this happened, we've had listeners from all over saying they want to help and be involved. And for some people, that's donated money. But I had a lot of people say, look, I want to help with my time or my labor. And so we tried to organize to where people could come and help. And I also think it's important to see what's going on. I mean, it's the kind of thing that's very difficult to describe to people, and you kind of can't understand it unless you're here. And I think a lot of our listeners and folks around Kentucky want to be productive.
The KSR Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund has raised over $141,000 so far. Flood victims across the region are trying their best to salvage their homes while facing hardship across the board. WIMT's Chandler Wilcox talked to a few homeowners that are working tirelessly to save their property.
Heavy mud covering the ground inside and out.
As you can see, this is the mud and the sludge. We have a refrigerator back here that you don't want to go through that's completely turned upside down and blocking the door.
Flood victims are trying to clean out all of the mud and debris they can to refresh their houses.
This debris here, from where I'm standing right here all the way down through there, came out of the front of my garage, my attached garage.
Charlotte and Katrina live on opposite sides of Letcher County, but like many others in the region, they are spending day and night figuring out what can be saved. For Charlotte, that is her beloved pictures of family memories.
Some of them are savable and some of them are not. This is kind of what they look like now. You know, just gone.
While trying to salvage what they can, one of the most devastating gut punches for the Breeding family was losing their two pets who were trapped by the water.
Our sons were able to crawl under, and my son-in-law, and get their bodies because they were trapped underneath their house.
Katrina Tilley is cleaning a lot on her own because her husband has congestive heart failure and cannot work through the mud. She has separated a lot of equipment that could still be functional, but some of the damage she still cannot bring herself to sort through.
Store clothes in there, you know, and everything in there is ruined. I can't even open the door yet to see. I throw everything in there out.
While trying to save their homes, every minute is an emotional battle. In Letcher County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Breeding and Tilley both say their homeowners insurance will not cover any destruction from the flood, and they're hoping to get any assistance possible. Well, we want to remind you that we're partnering with WKYT in Lexington and WSAZ in Charleston, Huntington, West Virginia for Appalachia Rises, a week of giving. Our goal is to support the ARH Foundation Fund for Flood Relief and the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky Crisis Fund. Hazard native Joe Kraft and his wife, former UN Ambassador Kelly Knightcraft, will match every dollar raised for the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky Crisis up to $1.5 million. You can get involved in the fundraising effort by scanning that QR code right there on your screen. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the labor market is going strong with unemployment at a 50-year low.
Plus, rain has returned to the forecast, and we are not close to done with it yet. The very latest is on the way next.